Hamill goes fully unhinged, claims the election ruined him, and slavery will return. Dear God. So there's this thing about, like, celebrities on the internet that has always bothered me. They're always fucking cringe. They are the ultimate of cringe people online. They will always be the ultimate of cringe people online. I don't care if they're left or right. One of the most annoying people on Twitter will always be... obviously Mark Hamill's one of them, but George Takei is another. That dude who plays the Hulk. And then also the dude that used to play Hercules. I can't remember what that dude's name. He is Kevin Sorbo. Kevin Sorbo is insufferable right-wing lunatic. And then you got what's the other right-wing guy? The guy who played Hades in Hercules. Not like the same Hercules. It's weird that both of the guys are from Hercules and they're both like right-wing now. Well, what is it? You play a character in Hercules and now all of a sudden you are fucking just a Ben Shapiro stan. I don't know, but anybody who kind of hits that point where they're washed and now all they have left is politics, it's just kind of sad, to be honest. And then you think your influence is that important and you take this shit that seriously that you think that the world's coming to an end when your favorite fucking political guy doesn't win. It's sad. Well, we're gonna see what this is. I'm gonna see how I have no idea who this guy is who's making the video. It is Hyponic. Never watched anything this guy did, so he could be annoying as shit. We're gonna find out though.
Chance to talk about in a well, here's something a little bit different that we haven't had a chance to talk about in a long time, and that has to do with Mark Hamill. Now, Mark Hamill is everybody's terminally online favorite Star Wars actor, or former, I should say, Star Wars actor, that has absolutely lost it. I mean, the man is a shell of his former self, even before Trump was elected to go into office this January. But now that Trump was actually elected, this man is literally a shell of his former self. He has completely lost it. He has abandoned all of social media, and now he's apparently come back in a weird video and has decided to have a little bit of a...
Dude, I love that his daughter was like, hey, Dad, maybe you should fucking stop. Dad, you're being cringe, Dad, dude, I'm just trying to chill, live my life, and then people keep bringing up that you're a psychopath on Twitter. Could you please stop? He's like, no, Trump is the next Hitler. It's hilarious, dude. It's like, oh, slavery's coming back. Are you serious, bro?
A melty melt. So we have an article here from Fandom Pulse with a headline that reads, Mark Hamill admits being terminally online during the election made him crazy and ignored his daughter's advice to stop spamming political tweets.
I never, like you, to your question, I never became active until wanting to make sure that, first of all, I was devastated. I want to get rid of the Electoral College because Hillary beat him by 3 million votes.
Oh my God. Here's the thing about the Electoral College, whether you hate it or like it, the thing, I've always been kind of middle on it. I understand why it exists because there's a lot of people in like, there's a lot of states that have like small populations, right? And otherwise they would be outshined by places that have massive populations in one ideology. So the way the Electoral College works is it doesn't fully negate the like, sometimes it does negate the popular vote, but it gives all the smaller states a right to have a voice when otherwise they'd be shut down. So that's kind of the point of the Electoral College, is something to put some of these smaller states on almost an even ground, and without it you would have big cities deciding everything, kind of how they do in states already. Like California has like whatever Los Angeles believes, that's what California is gonna do. Same thing with Nevada and fucking Vegas and Oregon with Portland. A lot of times the cities are what decide, but when it comes to the country in and of itself, you do have that protection of, wow, dude, this state's small, but it still has an electoral vote, so it still matters.
It's shy under 3 million. And Gore beat W by 500,000, and it was making me crazy because I started reading about the Electoral College. And, oh my God, this is remnants of slave days when they were trying to,
everything that somebody on I love that anybody on the left decides that everything is a remnant of slave days. And yes, it was, but it also still has the same thing where it's like, wow, these smaller population areas now have a voice. So it's like, whoa, we're gonna take their voice away because you don't like them, like. But if they were on the other side, they would be saying, well, we need the Electoral College. So and like this time it's funny because Trump did win the popular vote, so that narrative has kind of gone out the window this time, because even without the fucking electoral college, he still would have lost it. I think that's why he had such a big mental breakdown, because he couldn't use statements like this anymore. Again, I'm not the biggest Trump guy. I'm not the biggest fucking political guy ever, but having an understanding behind it and why it exists, and you think about some of the disenfranchised places like Kentucky with like the smaller population of like the Appalachian areas, and then you look at like Nebraska. Who the fuck lives in Nebraska, or the Dakotas? Who the fuck lives in the Dakotas? But I mean, yeah, it's there's not a huge population there, but their voice still should be heard to a modicum of a degree.
Portion the amount of votes with, you know, how many slaves you owned, and oh, it's awful.
If you ever want to know why I block ads with pi,
Like, if you're gonna have an intro, I think this is this guy's intro. Please put it at the beginning so that we can just get into the fucking video. Because this is something that died off on YouTube. I don't do these on my videos. I did when at one time I had this intro that was like from Call of Duty when they're like the airport thing, and it was like a joke. It was like a whole joke thing, and I deleted it because a lot of people are moving away from this this type of idea, and I honestly like it better without it.
Now, I think that's absolutely insane that the man was trying to get advice, or not even trying to get advice, I should say, getting advice from his daughter and choosing to ignore it, all because he suffered from massive levels of TDS. This is something that has been running rampant through Hollywood. It's also something that's running rampant through the gaming industry right now, which we obviously cover more often. But still, we have this absolutely destroyed man trying to come out online and admit something like this is crazy, and I figure let's get into it. So let's get into this.
Dude, the best thing about this last election too was the fact that people started looking at celebrities and not giving a fuck what they had to say. Because I'm sorry, if you look to a celebrity to decide your vote, that is such a sad fucking thing to do. You should make your own research. You should make your own choice. Whether it's left or right, you should go in with all of your beliefs, and you just should decide whether it is. Even if you're like a one issue voter, if you have one issue and that's what you care about the most, and you're like, hey, dude, I care about, let's say, abortion, and you're like, well, it seems like the right's not gonna, like, it's gonna be against abortion, you want to vote left. That makes sense, dude. It's like you make these decisions based on what you want, and not because some fucking idiot online. It's not, oh, Rob Schneider's now hanging out with right-wing people. I like the movie Big Stan. I'm gonna go vote because Rob Schneider's doing it. That's stupid. That's fucking dumb. You should not do that. I mean, again, it's a free country. Do whatever the fuck you want. But just because Taylor Swift decides she's gonna speak out for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump does not mean you should do exactly what Taylor Swift's doing. That's like weird sheep behavior, and you're fucking weird.
Article, guys, from Phantom Polls. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So again, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, dude, like and subscribe to my channel, like he said, because I have a below average size penis, and I want everybody to know.
So hard for Kamala Harris during the election that many thought that he was a paid shill for the campaign, and I gotta admit, I thought he was too. I really
Dude, how okay, this is where you're stupid. I know I'm pausing a lot and not letting this fucking guy talk and giving my own fucking feedback, but welcome to my channel, cocksuckers. Welcome to hell. Wow! Anyways, Mark Hamill's been like this for a very, very long time. To think that he's a paid shill is kind of stupid when he's been on his knees slobbing the knob of the Democratic Party for a long time. They probably paid a lot of people who weren't going to say anything in this shit, but Mark Hamill was one of those people. They were just probably already knew that he was going to do everything for free.
Thought he was too. I don't know if he's still not, because again, I haven't seen any proof that he's not, but I really thought that he was a paid freaking Democrat show. I really thought he was. I thought he was up there with freaking Harry, okay? If you guys know who Harry is, you'll know exactly who I'm referencing, but I thought that he was up there as a paid.
Harry is a TikTok personality who shills for the left-wing party all the time. No matter what happens, what drama, he is going to pretend that drama isn't that big of a deal. He is a lot like any pundit. Now, Harry and some other TikTok creators are paid shills for a party, and because they are attractive young people, they are pushed in. I mean, I don't know. I can't like make 100, but Brett Cooper's kind of in that same category of like young and pretty, so people watch her stuff. It's the same thing with these guys. They were trying to get the female more because females have a lot higher percentage, are Democratic. So having a really attractive white dude to show that not all attractive white guys are racist, it works in their favor. Or whatever. If I had to make a guess. I mean, I'm sure I'm probably off fucking beat a little bit, but that's kind of the lore behind those guys.
Democrat shill, and the man was just going so damn hard. I mean, he was going to the White House, everything imaginable, just like Jack Black was at a certain point. But he also suffered from massive levels of TDS, so now we know that it was so massive.
By the way, fuck Jack Black. Fuck Jack Black. And here's why I say fuck Jack Black. Now, I am completely cool with you having whatever fucking political beliefs you deem necessary. Whatever you believe in, that's fine. That's cool. I don't care. But when his buddy said on stage the shit about Trump and the assassination attempt, like, who cares, dude? He's your buddy. Like, right after that happened, Jack Black was laughing on stage like it was no fucking big deal. All of a sudden, Twitter's in a rage, and Jack Black sends his own friend up the river. Stand by that motherfucker. Why? So you can protect your shitty fucking Christmas movie that came out on, like, Paramount Plus or some shit? Who cares, dude? Why? So you can protect your role in fucking Borderlands, which nobody watched? Dude, Mr. I talk about how much I like video games and how important video games are, but then is willing to just go into a movie that is just a slap in the face to the video games? Like, you have no fucking spine, you're sold out, you're a piece of shit, and you can't even stand by your own friends. Fuck Jack Black, dude. I officially don't like him anymore because of what he did to Kyle Glass. What he did to Kyle Glass was wrong and disgusting.
That apparently he wasn't paid. But a new interview shows that the Star Wars actor may have simply lost his mind, as he says that he was devastated by the election results. Mark Hamill became the poster child for the first Joe Biden campaign, as he infamously went to the White House to announce he considered Biden to be Joe Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was one of the gayest things I've ever heard. In one of the saddest moments of political history, since Hillary Clinton announced Pokemon Go to the polls in her campaign in 2016. Yeah, we need to stop. We like the Democratic Party. You guys got to get better with your stuff, man, because we need to stop these absolute cringe little moments here that tend to happen. Anyway, after it became clear that Biden did not have the mental acumen to serve another term as president, Mark Hamill immediately shifted to being a Kamala Harris full-time supporter on his X account. His posting was so over the top that many speculated that the Harris campaign paid him for his advertisements. After the election, however, Hamill followed the trend of many Hollywood celebrities blaming X for the election of Donald Trump and Elon Musk by proxy, and he virtue signaled by saying he...
What bothers me about them blaming X is, I think it's kind of funny because the right was blaming Twitter for Trump losing in 2020. So they decided to go out and blame Twitter and stuff, and now it's the opposite. Well, here's what happens, right? You have this you had Twitter, you had YouTube, you had TikTok, you had Facebook, and they were all willing to censor one side. Well, what happened is one platform said you can say what you want now, and now I know that there is some bias because Elon Musk is fully like jaw open, willing to get throated by Donald Trump, but it has more of an open space now that people can argue freely, which it didn't before. And I think that that's honestly dangerous to the general mindgeist of everything, and that's kind of what people are super against censorship unless it's for their side. Now, I sit in the thing that I don't want censorship for either side. I think both sides should be able to speak freely and let their opinions be known. And I know that that's a crazy thought, but I think that it's just important to have crazy left-wingers as it is to have crazy right-wingers. I think it is just as important to have both of these parties because they keep each other in check. And if you have a system, which we had for a long time, at least after 2016, to where to the fucking terms and services are really pushing one direction, I think that what happens is you get you instill this false echo chamber that before didn't exist, and so people who would speak out against it, all of a sudden they're having troubles. And if you're saying, oh well, there's no proof of that, blah blah blah, fuck you, dude. I made a TikTok where a kid got slapped. It was like two kids fighting in a classroom, right? And the whole point was one of the kids was, or the kids were wearing masks because it was that time of world season, and one of them got slapped super hard. And I made a joke about how I thought masks protected everything or something, right? It had nothing to do with. It was just funny because the kid got slapped and his mask fell off. That was the whole point, and I got dinged. I like my TikTok got pulled down for misinformation. It was a joke, dude. It's a fucking joke. Like, but that was the kind of mindset during that time period, and the fact that we were that far gone, it shows that there was a crazy bias, and the fact that there is some directions of because when you're silencing everyone who disagrees with you, and like shutting them down, that's not real public discourse. That is an echo chamber of one side, and then that's gonna falsely introduce that everyone else agrees with you when half of the country obviously didn't.
He was going to leave X for Blue Sky, saying, now that I fled Leon's site for bluer skies, I'm sure I'll be called an XX, but personally, I'll always consider myself a Twitter quitter. Now, I don't really know.
By the way, Blue Sky fucking sucks, dude. I have Blue Sky. I do. I got Blue Sky because I saw people moving over there. I am willing to post on there, but like everyone will, if you say something just slightly, and it's like if you say something like slightly disagreeable with somebody else on that platform, they will block you instantly. Everyone just fucking blocks everyone, and it's just such a shitty site. It's just not an enjoyable experience. I'm not the biggest Twitter guy. I do use it because I want to push like. I want to get a little bit of following on there, so go follow me on Twitter, but I also want to, like, do that so I can build my YouTube channel, and it's just, like, I have both for that same reason, just Blue Sky. Anybody who says anything slightly disagreeable, they will block you, and it's kind of sad.
You know what's happening with his socials. I don't follow this man at all. I only saw this article and thought it was interesting because of the admission about the daughter thing. But ultimately, they all do this, right? They say they're going to leave X and they end up coming back a little bit, a couple months later. Some of them go, for a little bit longer. They may even go for a year. But eventually, they always come back. Or the funny thing is, anytime there's a major announcement, they'll announce it on X instead of just announcing it on Blue Sky because they know they want maximum engagement for whatever BS announcement they're about to make. Now, the embattled actor has given a new interview where he shows how bad his Trump derangement really is, and it appears to be driven by mental illness. In an interview clip posted by Autism Capital on X, Mark Hamill is shown as bumbling about his extreme leftist act.
Autism Capital? What the fuck kind of Autism Capital? What the fuck, bro?
Activism before he starts saying, first of all, I was devastated. I want to get rid of the Electoral College because Hillary beat him by 3 million votes, just shy of the 3 million, and Gore beat W by 500,000, and it's making me crazy. Again, Mark Hamill, are you aware that he won the popular vote this time too? Like,
yeah, dude, I definitely did say that, but it I don't really have much to add here because it's just so stupid. I already said it. It's just this mindset that you're in, that they're the enemy and you can't think of a possibility why they won. But then you find one of the issues in the system and you want to remove that because that is the system to why you don't win every time and you want to always be winning because you don't really care about fucking democracy. You don't care about all this other shit that you aspise. You just simply want your side to win every time, and that's wrong. If it comes out and somebody wins, it's like, cool, they won. That was how it was. I wasn't the biggest Joe Biden guy, but I wasn't like the biggest go for Trump guy in the last one. But I really wasn't happy with the results. But I wasn't out here oh, dude, we need to take over everything. I wasn't online just crying. That's fucking pathetic, sad behavior. That is internal, forever online behavior, and it's pathetic.
Are you aware that even if you got rid of the Electoral College, Kamala still would have lost? So what are we honestly doing here? I want to watch this video. Let's watch this video and see what he's got to say.
I never, to your question, I never became active until wanting to make sure that, first of all, I was devastated. I want to get rid of the Electoral College because Hillary beat him by 3 million votes, just a shy under 3 million. And Gore beat W by 500,000. And it was making me crazy because I started reading about the Electoral College. And, oh, my God, this is a remnants of slave days when they were trying to, proportion the amount of votes with, how many slaves you owned. And, oh, it's awful. But anyway, so that and Citizens United I'd like to get rid of. But in any case.
Forget everything you knew.
Again, it's just find shit that you disagree with. Take it back to a horrible part of history, which it was horrible, and then make up a bunch of shit that like it's just like whatever fixes your. I hate this mentality, dude. It's just like, oh well, everything's against me, and because my side doesn't win every time, I want to just drastically change the entire country.
This man is struggle sessioning right now.
Oh
I mean,
my
look who
God.
he's on with right now. He's on with the literal devil. I mean, like, what the hell? Like, what
I wouldn't say he's the literal devil. Let's calm down there a bit, Chief. He sucks, but come on.
are we doing? In terms of the whole electoral college thing, I mean, these people have been advocating for something like that for a while because obviously it makes it a bit fairer, the electoral college, and they want everything to be the popular vote. Because here's what they do. They go after the young voter all the time. They go after the voters that vote emotionally. They go after the voters that they know are trying to get a good story to buy their vote. They're not going after the smarter voter. They're not going after the voter that votes on policies. And that goes for both left and right. They're going after the voter that quite simply just votes based off emotion, which is why if you look at most Democrat freaking stories and most Democrat like policies or most Democrat anything, it's always based off emotion. It's trying to trigger an emotional response to get you to vote for them. That failed this time, and it failed miserably. And it usually fails when they go too hard on it to make it obvious that it's a lie. And that's why they lost to Donald Trump this time. So anytime they lose, they always bring up, we need to abolish the electoral college, because they are trying to desperately make this.
Well, and it is funny this time because abolishing the electoral college would not have mattered. I mean, it is refreshing to see that it was just like unanimously decided that's who it won. Oh well, move on. But it's just kind of like my thing too. Is it's like it's just so fucking weird. It's like, oh, let's get an NFL guy, let's get an actor, let's get a governor, and we'll do a little podcast, and we'll get the younger crowd in here, we'll get that millennial crowd in here, we'll get people to fucking. And it's like, why don't you stand on policy? Because that was the biggest problem with Kamala Harris's campaign is nobody knew what the fuck she stood for. She's at one side of her mouth. She's saying she's gonna do that Joe Biden did nothing wrong. The other side, she says she's gonna change a bunch of stuff. You never knew exactly what she stood for, and I think that was the big reason she failed because she was just out there hackling and cackling about nothing. And you can't. There's nothing. Nobody wants to stand behind somebody who doesn't stand for anything. And that was the biggest problem because it's like, what do? Do we run on these social issues that have already lost, that are already kind of losing the general zeitgeist of the U.S.? Or do we run on policies, but we've been running on social issues so long that what is our policies? We don't want to piss off the moderate Democrats. We're just trying to play things too safe. And one thing that's always true when you're trying to play things safe is you end up fucking shitting the bed.
Just about an emotional thing. So it increases their chances of winning tenfold by doing so. But let's continue anyway.
As you said, you get most scorching hate tweets from the MAGA crowd. And when I was still on Twitter, I had to stop reading the responses. I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, you get that hate. Anytime you are a hyper political person, you are going to get a lot of hate from whatever group you're hating on. Hate begets hate, always. Hate always begets hate. So if you're just out there just like being real, a lot of times you won't get a ton of hate. But if you're out there saying like all Democrats are fucking crazy nut jobs, and we need to fix this problem and all of this shit, people like him would like. That's why you get that hate, bro. You're out here shitting on people. You're out here just fucking talking about how bad the MAGA crowd is, how bad the Republicans are, how bad this is, how bad that is. And when you do that, when you're in this realm of fucking hatred, you're going to get hatred back. You have no understanding of what the other side thinks or what the other side feels. And when you have this worldview of you don't care what other people have to say, nobody's going to give a fuck about what you had to say. And that goes for right-wing creators as well.
Block anyone because then they could display Mark Hamill blocked you as a badge of honor. But I muted like a mofo. I would mute, I looked up one day and I said, oh my God, I've been muting people for 40 minutes. So once I realized how it was eating into my own time, I said, the only thing to do is don't read the response. Yes. You just can't. You can't. And someone said to me, my daughter would say, Daddy, you shouldn't tweet politically so much because people get so angry. And so I wrote a tweet that I said the people complaining about my Trump tweets have to understand I love my country and I feel it's my patriotic duty to oppose this sociopathic, I forget the other word, whatever it was, with every fiber of my being.
Well, yeah, dude, you come in here, and that's what the problem is. You're alienating a lot of people. Like you because you're an actor. They like you because they grew up watching Star Wars. They grew up watching Batman the Animated Series. And there's this problem with, and this is an issue that everyone fucking has. And this isn't just an issue that like even people who probably watch my channel and then come in here and then they're mad because I had any sort of an opinion. They want everybody to think the exact same way they do. They want everybody to be in this little fucking echo chamber that they're like, how could somebody I like so much, who's in part of so many important things in my life, not agree with me? How is that possible? And it's kind of a sad... People are going to disagree with you, dog. People are going to look at you and be like, wow, I think you're cringe, or this or that. And it's like, that's okay. That's okay. I want to live in a world where you don't agree with everybody every fucking second. You shouldn't agree with... If there is somebody who you agree with every single thing they say, that person is probably lying to you and understands that you are there to hear those certain things. Sorry, dude. That's how it works. Like, you think that, like, Ben Shapiro, who was madly anti-Trump, all of a sudden he's super Trump because he knows his audience wants that? Like, that's the problem, is you're going to have these people who are willing to change their opinions to support whatever their audience wants, and that's a problem. That's a problem. So, you, like, having people completely disagree with you does not take away from anything they actually do. And, like, the fact that he was getting hate, yeah, he was super cringe. Yeah, he was super annoying. Yeah, he was putting hate into the world and getting hate back. But as for the people who were like constantly hating him because he had these opinions, who cares, dude? He's still a good actor. It's not going to change his ability to act. Mark Ruffalo, the guy who plays the Hulk, phenomenal fucking actor, a super annoying person on Twitter. Like, it's okay to disagree with somebody on an ideological level, but problem with people like this is they see everybody as the enemy, and when you see everybody as the enemy, nobody's going to be your friend.
And that's the way I've been. I mean, I do feel it's an obligation. And who cares about your career? People say, oh, well, it's hurting your career because you have to appeal to the whole country, not just half the country, or 45% or whatever the MAGA crowd is.
I mean, they're not 45%. They literally just won the election. So, like, that whole fucking electoral weirdo shit is done. It's dead. Who cares? But that's the problem. I mean, that makes it hard for you to be marketable. I mean, that's something that you're taking up. I mean, this is the same problem with probably why people like fucking, God, what's his name? Like Kevin Sorbo and all of these right-wing guys, actors, they're having hits on their career as well because they decided politics were more important than their career, which, like, you are an actor. You have one job. Who fucking cares about your opinion?
Is, but I said
how is it 45% when they won the popular vote this time? They won the popular vote. Like, they clearly have the higher percentage this time. It's not 45%. It's well above 50%. And still, like, I don't understand what this guy is saying. I feel like he's in severe cope mode right now.
In the grander scheme of things, who cares if I lose a part in a movie because I hate the orange atrocity? I do, and I want people to know that. So.
My God. I mean, okay, so this is very clearly just a circle.
Again, what I was saying about putting hate in the world and being surprised when people hate you back.
Jerk, and anytime we talk about toxic positivity, this is what they look like right here. Toxic positivity is a massive circle jerk where everybody is just sniffing their own fucking farts at the end of the day. So Mark Hamill clearly is having a bit of an issue coping with the fact that Donald Trump is going to go in office in January. I mean, look at him right here. Jeez. And I can only imagine what kind of videos and what kind of information we're going to be getting as we get closer and closer to inauguration. I cannot wait to see the meltdown clips. I cannot wait to see the celebrity meltdown clips. It is going to be insane. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.
So, I mean, that video was semi-entertaining. He did a decent job of covering the dramas. But, again, I think the biggest issue is he is also coming in looking for the problems. And these type of people, like Mark Hamill, are, they're attracting people like this guy's channel. Again, I think this video was very informative. I think that it was fun to watch. It wasn't anything terrible. But, I mean, I could find something where some left-wing guy, some bread tuber, does the same thing with fucking all the people I mentioned in this video who are right-wing. the main thing that I think is like the biggest problem is people's lack of understanding of why they're getting this hate. Like, oh, why? Because before Twitter had this ability to where they muted people for you. They fucking silenced the anybody who's too fucking, oh, I said this, and then they're like, oh, well, that's the, like, I remember I would post something when I first got back onto Twitter. This is probably 4 years ago. I had a buddy that told me, hey, you need to get back on Twitter. Twitter's fucking fun. And I got on Twitter, and it's fine. But I remember that I would post something like, this is, well, what a fucking stupid thing to say. And then I would get dinged how this was aggressive or how this is like hate speech. And it's like, I didn't say anything hateful other than this guy was an idiot. What was so hateful about that? It's like, I don't get it. It was the most mundane shit you would say, and because it was slightly negative, it was like, are you sure you want to put that negativity out in the world? And that's sad, dude. It's like, oh, so I can't be critical of somebody? And the problem, like, after Elon took over, is he kind of opened the floodgates to where everybody wasn't censored anymore, and they weren't just shutting down anybody who had a slight disagreement with you if you were on a certain side. And now all of a sudden people are like, well, I'm getting all this hate. Wow, this is crazy. I didn't get this hate before. And it's like, yeah, because those people were silenced for you. And it's like, wow, when you have to actually look at what's going on, and wow, you put all this hate out in the world for years, and now you're getting hate back. I mean, it's just kind of what fucking happens, and you should expect it. And the same goes for people on the right who are hating on all of these left-wing people. You're going to have a group of left-wing people who hate you as well. It's just how the fucking world works. If I go outside, walk up to somebody, say, you are fucking ugly, you're stupid, I don't like you, that person is going to then shit on me as well, because I am fucking a dick. I am an asshole in this situation. I don't know. That's all I had for that one.